So now we're going to take a look at the vertical line test, which is a test that uses vertical lines, just drawing them on the graph. And so you just draw them pretty much all over the place, and it's supposed to be anywhere. If any by it, I mean any line touches the graph anywhere twice, it is not a function. So if any one of your lines touches anywhere twice, then it's not a function. And as you can see, if I follow this graph, it's just this is an absolute value graph actually. It's like y equals, this would be the graph of y equals absolute value of x. This graph is a function because there's nowhere where any of these vertical lines, I'll put little dots, red dots, wherever it touches, there's no place where I could draw a line that it will touch two places. So we say, yes, it's a function. So it checks out, yes, function. And then the next thing we're going to be asked is what the domain and range are. So, to take a look at the domain and the range, the domain is the set of the x's. Now, if you look at this graph, on the x-axis is what we're focused on. What places on the x-axis could you go up to the graph and find a y value? Well, if I keep going this way, I would keep having points. As I keep going to the left, there would continuously be points forever to the left. And the same situation happens to the right. If I go to the right and I go up, there's a point. If I go to the right, go up, there will be another point, and so on, all the way forever in both directions. So the domain, we say, is all real numbers. So we say all real numbers. Another way of writing that would be parentheses, negative infinity, comma, infinity. If I actually draw the infinity sign, it's not very good. Let's try that again. So negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay? And that's one way of writing it. The other way of just saying all real numbers. The range now. Looking at the range, we're looking at the y values. So what y values does it touch? Well, the point's supposed to be at 0, 0. I know it kind of goes underneath, but it's supposed to be right here at 0, 0. And so there's no y values for my graph down here below the x-axis because the graph goes down and then it bends and comes back up. So from 0 on the y-axis, y equals 0, there are points all the way up forever. So as I continue to go up, there's points to the left and there's points to the right. If I go up further, there's points to the left, points to the right. It will continue to have points way out here up on the y-axis. So what we say is that y has nothing below 0, so we say y is everything bigger or equal to 0. And that is your range. So here I want to show you some more examples of the vertical line test. If I was to draw a line vertically through this first graph on the left, you can see it touches at 1, 2, 3 places. And that's more than 2, obviously, so this is not a function. Also, this graph on the right, if I draw a vertical line through, you can see it touches at 2 places. That also is not a function. Now, there are places on each one of these graphs where I could draw a vertical line and it touches once. For example, right here, it touches once on the right graph. But just because it touches in one place doesn't mean that it's a function across the whole graph. And it's everywhere across the function. So you can see these are two examples of not being a function because they fail the vertical line test. And I'll just say VLT for vertical line test.